Picking right back up at Genesis chapter 34, verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very angry, because he who was Shechem had wrought folly in Israel, in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not be done. Notes. In this verse, the word Israel is used for the first time to designate Jacob's descendants, which actually became the great nation of Israel. The phrase folly in Israel became a standing expression for acts done against the sacred character which belonged to Israel as a separated and covenanted community as the people of God. Verse 8. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife. Notice, the special weaknesses of Shechem consisted in dishonoring a daughter of one who was the head of the theocratic line, and therefore under peculiar obligations to lead a holy life. Verse 9. And you make marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. Notes, by the act of intermarriage, Satan will compromise and corrupt the sacred lineage. This has nothing to do with racism or God preferring one person over another or anything like that. It's just very, very simple. If you look way back in, I think Genesis chapter 3, you can find where Eve is promised that through her the Messiah is actually going to come. And, it passed on umbilical cord all the way up to these people. And God has chosen, through Abraham now, finally, umbilical cord to be, the leader of the people, the beginning of the Jewish people. And through all that lineage would come Jesus. Well, you can't have Jesus if he's an Arab or an Amarillo Texan or a Hawaiian or anything like that. So that's kind of the reason why that had to happen. It's not because of race or skin color or anything like that. Verse 11. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what you shall say unto me I will give. Notes, in essence, Shechem was saying that whatever they asked as far as monetary value was concerned, he would pay it. Verse 12. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as you shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. Notes. The sons of Jacob practiced deceit in this situation, in which Jacob had no part therein. However, God no more overlooks the deceit of his own than he does those outside the covenant. And they, the brothers of Dinah, said unto them, who were Shechem and those with him, We cannot do this thing to give our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this we will consent unto you, if you will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. Notes. The sons of Jacob are now beginning to show the traits which will ultimately lead to their desire to actually murder Joseph. And Joseph is going to be one of the big characters in the book of Genesis. Verse 17. But if you will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will just simply leave. Or, wait, I read that wrong. We will be gone. Verse 18. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing. Notes, this means that he did not want to put it off, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. Notes, in other words, Shechem he was sincere in what he was saying and doing. Hamor and Shechem his son came into the gates of their city and communed with the men of the city, saying, notes, presented the proposal to them. That's what they're doing. Verse 21. These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Notes, Jacob's sons were of the Semitic stock, and therefore possessed of high physical and mental endowments. And as they were rich in cattle and other wealth, their incorporation with the people of Shechem, or so they reasoned, would raise it to a high rank, so they agreed to Hamor's proposal. Verse 22. Only herein will the men, who are Jacob's clan, consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. Notes, we find here that Hamor is actually practicing deceit as well. This was not the idea of Shechem, he being more honorable than his father, but it was the idea of his father and the other men of the city. Verse 24. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all who went out of the gate of the city. And every male was circumcised, all who went out of the gate of his city. Notes, in that Hamor agreed so readily, we must come to the conclusion that circumcision was something not unknown to them, and as well something that they regarded as a small price to pay for what they believed they would receive. Personally, I'm thankful no one has to take a knife to me right now for any reason. Verse 25. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and killed all the men. Notes, there is nothing that would justify what these men are doing right now. It's absolutely rotten and despicable. No excuse. Verse 26. And they killed Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and the spoiled city, because they had defiled their sister. Notes, in fact, uncivilized warfare scarcely record a more atrocious crime. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous and stupid and violent and pointless what these men have just done. Verse 28. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. And all their wealth and all their little ones and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. Notes, and keep in mind, we must understand that this was the church of that day. Despicable. Verse 30. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and kill me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. Notes, Jacob readily seized the hand of the devil in all of this, and but for the protection of the Lord, he was right. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? We will begin at Genesis chapter 35. Thank you for your time.